How you doing, guys? Coach Matthew Green here with Effective Fitness Training to go over a foot pursuit that ensued between some police officers. Looks to be two patrol cops, male and female, in addition to a commander, a white shirt it looks like. Looks like this is Washington Heights according to the Post. I don't know if that's NYPD or Chicago. There's a couple areas that are Washington Heights. I don't have any context, I don't have any background information as to what caused or arose this situation, and really doesn't matter. I'm not here to discuss the law, justification for this. Presumably was justified. Really the importance of this is to analyze the physicality, the physical fitness involved and needed for optimal policing, guys, which isn't very much. It's not much, but there is some needed. Some basic proficient levels of fitness and grappling that are needed. And you just don't see that being implemented too well here, at least particularly with one of those cops, that being cop 2, we'll say, the female cop. So we'll show you the foot pursuit that ensues, and there's actually a couple bystanders that get involved too. Presumably they're like witnesses, probably victims based on how aggressive and angry they appear to be. The suspect who's in black with the motorcycle helmet. So we'll start this video, guys, and just go over what went wrong, what could have gone better, and the solutions by which we can improve the outcome, right? The outcome being the most ideal situation where minimal to no injuries to cops and suspect with the safe apprehension of them in a timely, efficient manner, right? Overcommits, gets high, suspect cuts back, cop, you see there's a second bystander there, cop 1. That's kind of annoying. First bystander tries to tackle him, misses, gets in the way again of cop number 1. Cop number 2 and commander get passed up casually here by the man, not even trying to face the suspect. Captain passes them up. So now we have one cop and chasing after the suspect. Cop 1's doing a pretty good job, staying on him pretty well. Good work, man. Looks like he gets him to the car. Right here, I think, is caught up to him as well. Probably still giving his way. Commander finally passes up. Cameraman, where's our cop 2? Still nowhere to be found. Oh, there she is. I think that's her radio in her left hand, which we got to come up with a better setup than that. That might help your running efficiency if you can come up with a way to maintain all your equipment without having to pull it out and, holster it back up. I would say here the biggest, most alarming thing is just the physicality, the ability of cop 2, female cop here, guys, and it has nothing to do with gender. She is a female. She happens to be a female. There's tons of male cops that are just as incompetent and insufficient in physicality, but it just, she's a female. It's just a statement of fact here. So the cop number 2, female, guys, she's lacking in all regards physicality, particularly here, which is most relevant in this foot pursuit, is her ability to run, right? Which goes back to, it's just a simple matter of supporting your body weight. If anyone that's ever run or climbed stairs or climbed elevation, rucked, whatever it may be, moving your body through space, like under load, like under the force of gravity, right? Supporting your body weight, the heavier you are, the harder that is. To me, it's just not being overweight is the simplest solution here. It's not a matter of, I need to be an elite ultra marathoner, or I need to be an elite short distance runner, or I need to be training 5 days a week. It's none of those things. Ideally, we want elite cops and that they're training to the highest degree they can while being able to, maintain their lifestyle. If you're just not overweight, that in and of itself would be leaps and bounds above the alternative. So to me, there's got to be, the fitness standard is important, and that's ultimately the goal. But, baseline here, bare minimum, is just don't be overweight. That's, rule number 1, right? It's just excess weight that does not help you in any manner, in any regard. Maybe a little bit in grappling if you're huge, right? To some regard. If the guy's actually engaging, being physical. But that's rule 1. Rule 2 is, we need some physical fitness here. Right? And most particularly relevantly, once again, running, the ability to run. That's probably, in terms of physicality, the most important and relevant job-specific task you can do as a police officer. So, it doesn't mean you have to be training, once again, 5 days a week. It just depends. What's your background? How much do you need to improve by? This lady here needs to improve a lot, so she should be training 5 days a week, probably. It doesn't need to be the worst 5 days of her life, but 5 consistent training sessions a week, that would do you a lot, and you'd see gains really, really quick. But yeah, guys, this is unacceptable, and you can see here that this is just universally accepted by the large portion of population based on, the comments on this post here, and as well as this, this little, snark comment here by presumably the videographer, this bystander who's, shorty needs to be behind a desk. Yeah, there's some validity to this. It's not to hate on her. She's a policewoman. She's serving her community. But if you really want to serve your community and do the best you can, there's certain standards you have to live up to. In order to actually serve our community to the best of our abilities, we have to be physically, adept. And there's a lot of insufficiency and incompetence here. And you can see that simply through this very short foot pursuit, guys. And also, just to touch on the combatives part, right? Like the actual physical encounter hands-on, Middle Cop 1, actually, ironically enough, it wasn't actually the policeman that did the worst. The bystander who overcommitted got really high and, was, in the beginning there, which enabled the guy to cut back, the suspect to cut back and get out. And then once again, he came flying out, the bystander came flying back out. He overcommitted once again and missed that tackle. There's a balance between, the right amount of aggression, the right amount of speed, and timing of, I guess, so to say, your apprehension, whether that be a tackle, your takedown from the feet, whatever it is, from getting the person from feet to ground, essentially, which is ultimately the goal in a resisting suspect. You got to get them to the ground. That's their best barrier to maintain control. If you want to seek improvement on how you can better do that from a physicality standpoint, not a pure combative standpoint, in terms of like what physical characteristics will aid me in these encounters, both through physical fitness and like the actual physical hands-on part, there is particular training that's going to aid you. And we at EFT have developed a system in which optimizes both of those things and blends them well, guys. It's our total grappling conditioning program, and we've designed it such that you can achieve both of those things with the minimal necessary amount of training, guys. But check us out at EFT, and we'd love to hear your feedback. If you need anything, give us a holler.